Everything you experience in life is a direct reflection of what you assume to be true. Your mind is the architect of your reality, shaping every event, every encounter, and every opportunity based on the beliefs you hold. You do not see the world as it is, you see the world as you are. Every assumption, whether conscious or unconscious, dictates the course of your existence, molding your surroundings to match the thoughts you entertain most frequently. Most people live unaware of this truth, allowing external circumstances to dictate their beliefs rather than understanding that their beliefs are creating those very circumstances. They look at their struggles, their hardships, and their disappointments as if they are merely victims of fate, never realizing that their own inner conversations are the source of their experiences. If you believe you are always struggling, struggle will be your portion. If you believe you are destined to rise, the world will shift to accommodate that belief. What you assume to be true has a magnetic force. It attracts experiences, people, and situations that align with the dominant impressions in your mind. If you hold the assumption that you are not enough, life will constantly reflect that back to you through rejection, failure, and missed opportunities. If, however, you assume that you are favored, that everything works in your favor, doors will open in ways that seem miraculous to those who do not understand this law. The difference between success and stagnation, between joy and sorrow, is not in external forces, but in the assumptions held within the mind. Your subconscious mind does not argue with you, it accepts whatever you consistently affirm as true. It does not question whether your assumptions serve you or harm you, it simply brings them to life. This is why so many people remain trapped in cycles they desperately wish to escape. They hope for change while still assuming that nothing ever works out for them. They pray for abundance while secretly believing they will always struggle. The subconscious mind takes its orders from these hidden assumptions, bringing forth the reality that matches the belief rather than the desire. If you wish to change your life, you must first change your assumptions. You cannot wait for evidence to appear before you believe. You must believe first, and then the evidence will come. This is the great secret that so many fail to grasp. The outer world is nothing more than a reflection of the inner world. If you assume yourself to be strong, capable, and worthy, life will mirror those qualities back to you in ways both great and small. If you assume yourself to be defeated, lost, and unworthy, the world will provide endless proof to support that belief. Every person you meet, every opportunity you receive, and every challenge you face is a response to the assumptions you hold. Even those who seem to oppose you, those who doubt you, those who seek to undermine you, are merely playing the roles your subconscious mind has assigned them. If you expect resistance, resistance will appear. If you expect ease, ease will follow. You are never at the mercy of others. You are only ever at the mercy of your own assumptions. Many spend their lives trying to change external circumstances, never realizing that the key to transformation lies within. They attempt to force outcomes, manipulate people, and struggle against reality, never understanding that reality is only responding to their dominant state of mind. The moment you shift your assumption, the world will begin shifting with you. It does not take years of effort, nor does it require struggle. The change happens the instant you accept a new belief as your truth. This is why it is so crucial to guard your thoughts, to be mindful of the stories you tell yourself day after day. Every thought is a seed planted in the soil of your subconscious, and in time it must bear fruit. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation, your life will be filled with obstacles. But if you plant seeds of confidence, faith, and abundance, your life will flourish in ways beyond what you can now imagine. You do not need to ask permission to assume greatness. You only need to assume it. The world does not shape your beliefs. Your beliefs shape the world. Those who rise above limitations do so not because they were given more opportunities or luck, but because they assume themselves to be capable of rising. Those who remain stuck do so not because they lack ability, but because they assume their circumstances are stronger than their mind. The moment you assume a new reality begins to form. The evidence may not appear instantly, but it is already in motion, aligning itself with your new assumption. To live the life you desire, you must be unwavering in your assumptions. Doubt is the enemy of manifestation, for the moment you entertain doubt, you contradict the very belief that was setting your new reality in motion. You must hold firm to the truth you wish to experience, refusing to explain yourself to those who cannot see what you see. When you master this, you will no longer be controlled by circumstances, but rather you will become the master of them. There are forces in this world that move through people, shaping their actions, thoughts, and words in ways they may not even realize. These forces are subtle, often disguising themselves as concern, curiosity, or even love. But at their core, they are driven by fear, jealousy, insecurity, and doubt. They attach themselves to those who are unaware, using them as vessels to spread confusion, discouragement, and negativity. The danger is not always in the person speaking, but in the unseen energy that fuels their words and actions. If you are not careful, you may find yourself entangled in their influence, trying to defend yourself against something that was never about you in the first place. These negative forces do not always present themselves in obvious ways. Sometimes they come as a soft whisper of doubt from a trusted friend, a subtle insult masked as humor, or an innocent question designed to make you second-guess yourself. Other times they manifest as direct opposition, harsh criticism, rejection, or outright betrayal. The person delivering the message may not even be aware that they are acting as a conduit for something greater than themselves. They may believe they are helping you, looking out for you, or offering a different perspective. Yet, if their words plant fear in your heart, if their presence dims your light, if their influence makes you hesitate instead of move forward, they are being used by forces that seek to hold you back. These forces do not choose people randomly. They are drawn to those who are weak in their own sense of self, those who lack awareness of their inner world, and those who have unknowingly surrendered their power to external influences. Some people are easily swayed by these energies because they have not yet developed the discipline to control their own thoughts. They allow themselves to be used, becoming instruments of doubt and discouragement. Without realizing it, they project their own fears onto others, seeking to keep them from rising because they themselves do not believe they can rise. They do not know they are being manipulated, and so they continue to act as shadows in the lives of those who are trying to step into the light. You may have noticed that these forces tend to show up when you are on the verge of something greater. Just as you begin to elevate, just as you start moving in faith, someone appears with words meant to pull you back down. It is not a coincidence. The closer you get to your breakthrough, the stronger the resistance becomes. The moment you decide to change, to grow, to rise, the world will test your conviction. The people around you, often unknowingly, will become the voice of that test. They will question your decisions, criticize your path, and remind you of your past failures. Not because they truly care about your well-being, but because the forces that operate through them cannot allow you to escape the realm they are trapped in. These energies feed on your reaction. The moment you engage, the moment you defend yourself, explain yourself, or fight back, you have given them power. They do not need to defeat you. They only need to distract you. Every time you stop to argue with someone who does not see your vision, every time you allow someone's words to make you doubt yourself, you delay your progress. This is how negativity operates, not by overtaking you with force, but by slowing you down just enough that you lose momentum. It uses the voices of those closest to you, those whose opinions carry weight, knowing that if they speak, you will listen. And the moment you listen, the seed is planted. A single doubt, a single hesitation, and suddenly the path ahead does not seem as clear as it once did. There is a reason why some people seem determined to misunderstand you. It is not because they lack intelligence or because they do not care. It is because the forces working through them need them to resist what you are becoming. If they truly understood your vision, if they truly believed in you, they could no longer be used as obstacles in your path. But as long as they remain blind to the truth, they can continue to serve as barriers, as distractions, as voices of uncertainty in your journey. They do not know they are being used, and so they operate with conviction, thinking they are justified in their words and actions. They will argue with confidence, convinced that they are right, never realizing that they are being manipulated by something beyond their understanding. It is important to recognize these forces without allowing them to consume your thoughts. The moment you become aware of their presence, they begin to lose their hold over you. You must learn to see past the person and understand the energy that is speaking through them. When someone tries to plant fear in your heart, ask yourself, whose voice is this really? When someone seeks to make you doubt yourself, consider, what force benefits from my hesitation? The battle is never with the person in front of you. It is with the unseen energy that seeks to control the outcome of your life. The moment you grasp this truth, you stop reacting, you stop explaining, and you stop being moved by the opinions of those who are being used against you. The key to overcoming these negative forces is unwavering certainty. They cannot influence what they cannot shake. If you remain firm in your vision, if you refuse to be pulled into doubt, their power weakens. They can speak, but their words will not reach you. They can criticize, but their opinions will not penetrate your mind. This is why some people walk through life untouched by negativity. It is not that they do not face opposition, but that they do not give it a home in their mind. They do not entertain fear. They do not justify their paths. And they do not seek validation from those who cannot see what they see. You may find that as you grow, some people will fall away from you. This is not a loss. It is a cleansing. When you refuse to be affected by negative forces, they can no longer use the people around you to reach you. And when that happens, those who were never meant to walk with you will begin to distance themselves. They will say you have changed, that you have become arrogant or distant. But in truth, you have simply become untouchable by the energies that once moved freely through your environment. The same voices that once challenged you will begin to fade because they can no longer find a place to root their doubts in your mind. There will always be people who resist your growth, not because they hate you, but because the forces operating through them cannot afford to let you escape. Their words may be sharp, their actions may be cruel, and their opposition may feel personal, but it is never truly about you. It is about the battle between light and darkness, between limitation and expansion, between fear and faith. And in this battle, you must decide which side you will serve. Seeking validation is one of the greatest traps that keep people bound to a reality they do not desire. It is a silent chain, disguised as a harmless need for acceptance, yet it subtly robs you of your power. From the time you were a child, you were conditioned to seek approval from parents, teachers, peers, and society. You were taught that your worth is something to be confirmed by others, that you must be seen, acknowledged, and validated to feel secure. This conditioning runs deep, shaping your actions, your choices, and even your sense of self. Without realizing it, you begin to measure your value based on how others perceive you, never questioning whether their perception is even worthy of shaping your reality. The moment you look outside yourself for validation, you give power to forces beyond your control. You place your confidence in the hands of those who may not even understand the path you are walking. You allow their opinions to dictate your movements, their judgments to influence your choices, and their recognition to determine your sense of worth. When they approve, you feel strong. When they disapprove, you begin to question yourself. In doing so, you become a puppet of external forces, easily swayed, easily discouraged, and easily manipulated by those who see your need for validation as an opportunity to control you. This need for approval weakens you because it makes you dependent on forces that are ever changing. One day they praise you, the next they criticize you. One moment they support you, the next they withdraw. If your self-worth is tied to their approval, then you will forever be at their mercy, shifting like the wind, never grounded in your own truth. You will find yourself living not for your own vision, but for the fleeting acceptance of those who may not even be capable of seeing your true potential. This is why so many people never step into their greatness. They are too busy trying to gain permission from those who are never meant to grant it. When you seek validation, you give others the right to define you. You allow them to set the terms of your success, to determine what is possible for you, and to dictate whether you are worthy. But how can they know? How can they, with their limited understanding, truly see what is inside you? How can they, with their own fears and insecurities, decide the direction of your destiny? They cannot. And yet, when you crave their approval, you give them the authority to do just that. You hand over your strength in exchange for their acceptance, failing to realize that their acceptance was never needed in the first place. True power is found in self-confirmation. The moment you decide that you are enough, without permission, without confirmation, without approval, you become untouchable. Those who once held power over you begin to lose their influence. Their opinions no longer carry weight. Their judgments no longer shake you, and their approval becomes irrelevant. You walk with a certainty that does not require explanation, a confidence that does not seek reassurance. It is in this state that true creation happens, for you are no longer bound by the limitations imposed by the minds of others. You are free. But freedom comes at a price. The moment you stop seeking validation, you will notice resistance. People will question you. They will accuse you of arrogance, of selfishness, of being out of touch. They will say you have changed, that you no longer listen, that you think too highly of yourself. This is because they can no longer control you. Your independence threatens them, not because you have wronged them, but because they do not understand how to exist without external approval themselves. Your refusal to seek their validation forces them to confront their own dependence on it. And that is a reality many are not prepared to face. You must understand that the world is built on a system of approval. Institutions, industries, and even relationships thrive on the idea that you must be accepted to be worthy. The moment you reject this system, you disrupt the order. You become unpredictable, uncontrollable, unshakable. This is why so few people break free. They fear being misunderstood, being rejected, being alone. But what they do not realize is that the greatest loneliness is found in constantly seeking approval from those who will never truly see them. It is only in self-connection that real connection begins. For only then can you attract those who see you as you truly are, not as they want you to be. Validation is an illusion, a mirage that disappears the moment you believe you have reached it. You may receive praise today, but it will not last. You may be admired for a season, but admiration fades. If your sense of worth is tied to these fleeting acknowledgments, then you will always be chasing, always adjusting, always compromising. But when you validate yourself, when you decide that your existence alone is enough, you no longer chase, you attract. You no longer beg, you command. And in that state, the world bends to your belief rather than you bending to its expectations. The irony of validation is that the moment you stop seeking it, you receive it in abundance. The world recognizes those who do not need recognition. It follows those who do not seek followers. It admires those who are already whole. But by then, validation is no longer necessary. It becomes irrelevant, an afterthought, a mere reflection of what you already knew to be true. And so, the question is not whether you will be validated, but whether you will continue to seek from others what only you can give yourself. Confidence is not something that needs to be explained, defended, or justified. It simply is. When you truly embody confidence, you do not waste time trying to prove yourself to others because you no longer see their approval as a requirement for your existence. You move with a certainty that does not waver, a quiet strength that does not seek recognition. The world is drawn to those who stand firm in their own presence, those who do not seek to explain why they deserve to be where they are, but instead claim their space without hesitation. The need to justify yourself is a sign of doubt, and doubt is what weakens the foundation of confidence before it ever has the chance to solidify. People often misunderstand confidence, mistaking it for arrogance or an inflated sense of self. But true confidence does not need to assert dominance over others. It simply exists without seeking permission. Those who constantly try to justify their confidence are not truly confident. They are still seeking validation. They want to be seen as confident. But real confidence does not beg to be seen. It does not explain itself, does not defend itself, does not require agreement from others. It stands alone, unshaken by the opinions of the world. The moment you start explaining yourself, you give away your power. You open the door for doubt to creep in, allowing others to question what should have already been unquestionable. There is a fundamental difference between someone who embodies confidence and someone who merely performs it. Those who embody it walk into a room and shift the energy without speaking a word. Their presence alone commands attention, not because they demand it, but because they radiate a knowing, an unshakable belief in themselves that cannot be ignored. On the other hand, those who feel the need to justify their confidence often speak too much, explain too much, and seek too much approval. They are not yet convinced of their own power, so they seek reassurance from others, hoping that if enough people validate them, their confidence will feel real. But confidence does not come from external confirmation. It comes from an internal decision to believe in oneself, without evidence, without permission, without explanation. When you embody confidence, you do not chase acceptance because you already accept yourself. You do not seek permission to exist in your greatness because you have already granted it to yourself. You do not need to defend your choices, your presence, or your worth because they are not up for debate. The moment you engage in justifying yourself, you place yourself in a position where others have the power to approve or disapprove of you. You give them control over how you see yourself, over how you feel about your own abilities. But true confidence does not negotiate. It does not wait for the world to agree. It declares itself and moves forward. The world often tries to make confident people feel as though they owe an explanation for their belief in themselves. It will ask, "What makes you think you can do this? Who do you think you are? What have you accomplished to justify your confidence?" But these are the questions of those who do not understand where confidence truly comes from. They believe confidence must be earned through achievements, through external validation, through the approval of others. But confidence is not a result, it is a cause. It is the starting point, not the destination. Those who wait for permission to feel confident will never reach it, because confidence is not granted, it is claimed. When you move through life embodying confidence, you will notice that people react to you differently. Some will be drawn to you, inspired by your certainty, eager to learn from you. Others will be intimidated, unsettled by the fact that you do not seek their approval, that you do not need their validation. Those who are insecure in themselves may even try to break your confidence, challenging you, questioning you, attempting to make you feel as though you must justify your self-belief. You may, but their discomfort has nothing to do with you. It is a reflection of their own internal battle. When they see someone who is free, someone who does not need permission to exist in their greatness, they are forced to confront the fact that they have spent their lives seeking validation. And instead of questioning their own approach, they will try to make you question yours. But confidence does not argue, it does not debate its own worth. It does not feel the need to explain why it exists. When you embody confidence, you do not engage in conversations designed to make you shrink. You do not entertain doubts that were never yours to begin with. You do not waste time proving yourself to those who will never be satisfied, because their disbelief is not about you, it is about them. When someone asks, "Why do you think you can do this?" the answer is simple: because I have decided that I can. No further explanation is needed. Those who seek to justify their confidence often fear being misunderstood. They want others to see them the way they see themselves, to acknowledge their worth, to confirm their greatness. But that is a losing battle, because not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will see your vision, and not everyone will support your belief in yourself. And that is fine. Their understanding is not required. Their validation is not necessary. Confidence is not about convincing the world. It is about convincing yourself. When you are sure of who you are, when you know your worth without question, when you move through life without the need to explain why you deserve to be where you are, you become unstoppable. The most powerful people in this world are not those who shout about their greatness, but those who simply embody it. They do not need to prove anything because their actions speak louder than any words could. They do not seek approval because they already approve of themselves. They do not justify their presence because they know they belong wherever they choose to be. And in that state, they become forces of nature, unmoved, unwavering. Light does not argue with darkness because it does not need to. The moment light appears, darkness vanishes without resistance, without debate, without negotiation. Light does not fight to prove its existence, nor does it seek permission to shine. It simply is. The very nature of light is to illuminate, to reveal, to bring clarity where there was once uncertainty. It does not waste time convincing darkness of its power, for its power is evident in its mere presence. Darkness, on the other hand, exists only in the absence of light. It has no true substance, no real foundation, no inherent strength. It is simply what remains when light is withdrawn, a temporary illusion that disappears the moment light chooses to shine. When you walk in light, when you carry within you clarity, purpose, and truth, you do not need to engage in battles with darkness. You do not need to defend yourself against those who do not understand your light, nor do you need to justify why you shine. Those who dwell in darkness may challenge you, mock you, attempt to pull you into their confusion, but you must understand that their attacks are not proof of your weakness, they are proof of their own blindness. Darkness cannot comprehend light, and so it seeks to distort it, to challenge it, to diminish it. But the truth remains unchanged. The light does not need to explain itself to the darkness. It simply shines. People who live in darkness, those ruled by fear, doubt, and negativity, will always try to pull light into their realm. They will question you, provoke you, and attempt to make you defend yourself. They will accuse you of arrogance for believing in yourself. They will try to make you feel guilty for seeing what they refuse to see. They will call you naive for believing in possibilities they have long abandoned. But you must remember that darkness only challenges what it does not understand. It is not your duty to argue with those who have chosen blindness. You do not need to waste your energy proving your truth to those who have already decided against it. The world is filled with those who would rather argue than seek understanding, who would rather tear down than build, who would rather remain in the comfort of their darkness than step into the uncertainty of light. These people will do everything in their power to make you second-guess yourself. They will call your confidence arrogance, your faith foolishness, your peace indifference. They will try to engage you in battles of words, debates over what is real and what is possible. But light does not argue. It does not lower itself to the level of darkness. It does not waste its energy fighting shadows when it was created to illuminate. If you find yourself constantly defending your beliefs, explaining your vision, justifying your worth to those who refuse to see it, step back. You do not need to prove your light to those who have already chosen to deny it. You do not need to beg for understanding from those who are committed to misunderstanding you. Your light is not meant for them. It is meant for those who are seeking, for those who are ready to see, for those who are willing to step out of their own darkness and into the truth. The moment you realize this, you free yourself from the exhausting need to convince others. You simply shine, and those who are meant to see your light will see it. When you argue with darkness, you give it power it does not deserve. You lower yourself to its level, engaging in a battle that was never yours to fight. The strongest souls do not waste their time debating with those who refuse to understand. They do not fight to prove their worth to those who will never acknowledge it. They do not seek approval from those who were never meant to give it. They walk in their truth, in their purpose, in their clarity, and they let their light do the work. The darkness may resist, it may challenge, it may attempt to overshadow, but it cannot win. Light does not ask permission, it does not retreat when confronted, it does not question itself when doubted, it simply shines. And in doing so, it removes all trace of the darkness that once seemed so powerful. People who fear their own light will often try to put out yours. They will tell you that you are too much, that you are too bold, that you should dim yourself to make others more comfortable. They will try to convince you that your light is offensive, that it exposes too much, that it is a burden to those who prefer the shadows. But you were not created to live in darkness. You were not given vision, wisdom, and clarity just to suppress it for the sake of others. Your light is your gift, your purpose, your power. It is not something to be hidden, reduced, or explained. It is something to be embraced and shared without hesitation. The world does not need more people arguing with darkness. It needs more people who are willing to be light. It needs more people who stand firm in their truth, who refuse to be dimmed, who do not waste their energy engaging in battles they have already won by simply existing. The greatest way to defeat darkness is not to argue with it, not to fight against it, not to try and prove its irrelevance. The greatest way to defeat darkness is simply to shine, to live as proof that darkness holds no real power, that it is nothing more than the absence of something greater. You do not need to fight for your light. You do not need to explain your existence. You do not need to justify why you believe, why you shine, why you refuse to shrink. Those who are meant to see your light will see it, and those who are not will continue to dwell in their own darkness. But that is their choice, not your responsibility. Your only task is to shine, without hesitation, without apology, without justification. Faith stands unmoved while opinions shift with the wind. Faith is an unshakable knowing, a deep-rooted conviction that does not waver based on external noise. Opinions, on the other hand, are fragile, constantly changing, shaped by circumstances, moods, and the voices of the crowd. Faith does not require agreement, validation, or proof. It exists beyond logic, beyond reason, beyond the limitations of the human mind. When a person moves with faith, they no longer seek approval because they understand that truth is not determined by consensus. Faith does not ask whether something is possible. It declares that it is and waits for reality to catch up. Opinions are often loud, forceful, and relentless, but they lack the substance to truly stand against faith. The world is full of opinions. People who believe they know what is right, what is wrong, what is possible, and what is not. They will tell you what you should do, how you should think, and what you should believe. But opinions are built on perception, and perception is limited. Faith is built on something greater, something unseen, yet undeniable. When you operate from faith, you no longer allow the changing tides of opinion to dictate your path. You no longer seek reassurance from those who cannot see what you see. You move forward, not because others believe in you, but because you believe in yourself. Faith requires no explanation. It does not negotiate with doubt, does not seek permission to exist, and does not tremble in the face of opposition. Those who walk by faith understand that what they believe in will be mocked, doubted, and dismissed by those who rely solely on what they can see. But faith does not depend on sight. It creates vision where there is none. It allows a person to step into the unknown with confidence, to stand firm when everything around them suggests otherwise. While opinions shift and contradict themselves, faith remains steady, anchored in something deeper than human reasoning. There will always be those who try to impose their opinions on your faith. They will tell you why your dreams are unrealistic, why your beliefs are misguided, why your vision is impossible. They will try to convince you that their limited perspective is the only reality that exists. But opinions have no power over faith unless you allow them to. The moment you begin to doubt, the moment you start questioning whether the opinions of others hold more weight than your own conviction, you weaken your own foundation. Faith demands that you stand unmoved, that you refuse to let the noise of the world drown out the voice within you. Faith is an internal certainty, while opinions are external distractions. If you allow opinions to dictate your path, you will forever be at the mercy of the world's ever-changing views. One day they will celebrate you, the next they will doubt you. One moment they will believe in your vision, the next they will call it foolish. If you live by the approval of others, you will die by their criticism. But when you live by faith, you become untouchable. The shifting perspectives of others do not move you. The discouraging words of the doubters do not deter you. You continue forward, knowing that faith is the only force strong enough to turn the unseen into reality. The greatest achievements in history were made by those who chose faith over opinion. Every great leader, every innovator, every visionary was once surrounded by those who said, "It cannot be done." The opinions of the world declared their failure before they even began. But those who move with faith do not seek validation from the world. They create new realities that the world has no choice but to accept. They understand that what is called impossible today is only impossible because no one has yet had the faith to bring it into existence. It is not the opinions of others that determine reality. It is the unwavering belief of those who refuse to accept limitations. Opinions are weak because they are built on external factors, on popular belief, on what has been done before. But faith is built on something much stronger. Faith draws from the unseen, from the infinite, from a power beyond human understanding. It does not ask, "Has this been done before?" It declares, "It will be done." It does not wait for the approval of others, it moves with certainty. Faith is not concerned with what the world believes to be true. It creates new truths, bends reality, and brings forth what was once considered impossible. Those who live by faith will always be misunderstood by those who live by opinion. Faith does not explain itself, does not defend itself, and does not wait to be accepted. It moves forward regardless of the resistance it faces. It is not concerned with being understood. It is only concerned with being fulfilled. The moment you begin to live by faith, you will notice that people will question you, doubt you, even ridicule you. They will tell you why you should give up, why your belief is foolish, why your vision will never become reality. But their opinions are irrelevant. Faith does not need the approval of the world to accomplish what it is meant to accomplish. Faith is what separates those who lead from those who follow, those who create from those who criticize, those who succeed from those who settle. The world is filled with people who had dreams, but allowed the opinions of others to talk them out of pursuing them. They once had faith, but they traded it for acceptance, for validation, for the comfort of being understood. But those who refuse to let go of their faith, those who stand firm despite the opposition, despite the doubt, despite the endless opinions of others, those are the ones who change the world. Opinions are powerless in the presence of true faith. They may be loud, they may be persistent, they may even be overwhelming, but they hold no real strength. Faith does not argue, does not negotiate, does not beg for agreement. It moves, it builds, it creates, and in the end, it triumphs.